Dear Pastor Bёrns, it's a pleasure to again talk to you, and thank you so much for everything you do. The latest video, the interview with you, was just really viral, and it's just amazing. A lot of people translated it to many languages just to really spread your message to their language, to make sure this message goes to their country.
Wow.
And they were so, inspired, so impressed by how much you sincere, your courage, and everything. So we truly appreciate it. I don't know, I'm speechless about that because you really encourage a lot of people. And especially the next video when you support the ALLATRA volunteers, they were just really, really appreciate. And not only ALLATRA volunteers, because you stay for the human rights and you stay for everybody who've been prosecuted, whose human rights violated, whose religious freedom violated. And you're the ones, like you said, you're not on the left, not on the right, but for the human right.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much for this position.
Well, it's easy when it is the right thing to do. I mean, again, we're here at the Museum of the Bible here in Washington, D.C. The president, who I believe is the greatest president in our lifetime, is right down the street. And he, too, was persecuted for being himself. He was politically persecuted. And you got to remember, he went through hell. They threw everything at him. And so his heart is very partial to organizations who stand for righteousness, stand for rights, stand for the common man, the common woman around the world, who stand for peace. And they are being persecuted for righteousness' sake. And so you have the same spirit of President Trump, who no matter what they throw at you, you're going to fight, you're going to take it, and you're going to keep on going. And I'm just grateful to be in your presence and all the things that ALLATRA does.
Thank you so much again, because you really bring this power. You just bring hope back to the people. And of course, like you said, our volunteers, that's really true. They're always no matter what is happening, we'll go further. But then when we meet more people and we see another people, their, power inside power, how they stand for these rights, that's inspiring even more, right? So
they are amazing. The volunteers, they are absolutely amazing. I thanks everyone for telling me a happy birthday. That blessed me. I was so happy. Your video and the video of the ALLATRA volunteers all over the world. I was just so moved. I was just showing many of my staff and church members of just the kindness and the love. So thank you all so much for that. That made me so happy. My birthday is on the day of international peace, September the 21st. And so I am just so grateful that it's my birthday coincides with international peace and the ALLATRA family at the same time. It's the perfect combination.
I think it's not a coincidence, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
And today, I think it will be really, really great to talk about actually the peace, right? And actually what is happening in the world, right? Really, if we start looking globally, we will see that what is happening, a lot of division, a lot of hatred. We see bombs, people really being prosecuted, people suffering. And we understand it should come to an end. There is no more, right? Enough is enough. And here you are, the project, the Spiritual Diplomats Project. Could you probably really tell a little more to people and explain why it's so much important right now and what kind of important things they have to understand about it?
Well, the Spiritual Diplomat is a global initiative that's built up of imams and priests and pastors and rabbis and spiritual leaders, faith leaders from all over the world who understand that their role has been given to them, the responsibility that's been given to them is for the will of the people and to help destroy the conflicts that's built up by political power. And to speak for the common man and the common woman. One of the questions you asked me in the wonderful interview that you've done, the wonderful interview that has went viral is, you said, if there was one thing that I could change, what would that be? And I said, my desire is for every person in the world to have an advocate to speak for them. That's what the spiritual diplomat do. That we're able we don't carry weapons, we carry wisdom. We don't focus on policy, we focus on people. And we are able to go, faith and religion is able to go into rooms where politics and politicians cannot go. And so that's the whole purpose of our wonderful conference with you guys and with all of our partners from around the world. It's going to be held at the Capitol on October the 28th. The whole purpose is to bring in faith leaders from all over the world to say we stand together. We are having dialogue, and not just dialogue, but we're using this platform and network of leaders to infiltrate in the political spheres to speak and advocate for those that do not have, the less than. And I'm just so excited for ALLATRA and all that you guys are doing and the volunteers that is helping to make this happen. A spiritual diplomat is a person that does not aim for power, but they aim for love. They want to see the least of them, as Jesus said, to be raised up from the ashes. And so it doesn't matter what faith you are, if you love people, if you care about the innocent. The reason why the spiritual diplomat is so important now, more than ever, is because the reality is we're on the verge of World War III. I mean, you see what's happening in Gaza and Israel, of course, Ukraine and Russia, Venezuela. You see what's happening in Somalia. There are so many conflict areas that are happening. Nigeria, Christians are being massacred and killed in Nigeria right now. In India and rural parts, Muslims are being hunted down by different organizations because they're minorities, and Christians are minorities in some of these rural parts around the world. You need to have a spiritual diplomat in every continent, in every city in the world, that's someone that has a heart for people and that we can communicate directly with each other so we can do what politics fail to do, we can do by saying, listen, my brother, my sister, I don't see the country you're from. I don't see the Iranian. I don't see the North Korean. I see a human being, and there are innocent people that live in these areas that desperately they don't represent their government. They're not their government. They're innocent people who are suffering on the behalf of their poor governments. And again, President Trump, as you saw just today, how he is brokering an amazing deal to end the violence that's happening in Israel and in Gaza, and to have both sides, those that have been hostages as a Palestinian hostage that's in Israel, and those that are Israel's hostages in the Palestine, have them released. And that the terrorist organization Hamas to be eradicated and to be removed from influence because there's a new government that's going to rise. That's what the spiritual diplomat do, that we can go into these areas. Democratic Republic of Congo, M23, Rwanda, all of these are still happening right now. And there's active spiritual diplomats like myself who are working behind the scene, like Reverend Billy Graham, who gave us the model. He taught us how to go into China and preach the word of God while at the same time preaching unification and peace and bringing our two countries, China and America, together. He was a key figure into doing that. And so in Reverend Billy Graham's model, in Mahatma Gandhi's model, in Dr. Martin Luther King's model, the model that they've already established, and so many other Jewish leaders and Christian and Hindu leaders, they have shown us that it can be done in a nonviolent way. And so this is a call for those men and women of faith from all over the world to step in those shoes and say, I am willing to be a spiritual diplomat. I'm not chasing power, I'm chasing peace, and we can do it together.
Actually, that's what I was about to ask, because, I was telling you, obviously, about our project, the Universal Grain, where
Yes.
we did this amazing, really very big, the social survey, and actually people in 180 countries
Yes.
were answering the question, what unites us all?
Yes, that was
to
so
find
beautiful.
this common ground. And everybody really, when we gather all those, answers together, that was such incredible. So really, everybody was saying love,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Respect and desire to live in a prosperous world.
Yes.
And now we have your project, the Spiritual Diplomat,
Yes.
which is actually tend to implement it
Yes.
in the reality.
Yes.
So, and before you said, so how anyone could become a spiritual diplomat?
But first of all, you have to really have true love for people. You cannot be so focused on government that you ignore people's suffering. It's one of the things that I see happening all over. They demonize, and governments demonize each other. And they will say, this person is a bad person, and so, or they're racist. And I've seen it firsthand. Let's just use Ukraine. I've seen it firsthand how Ukrainians were demonized first as racist, as corrupt, as neo-Nazis. They don't believe in religious freedom. And so they paint those pictures. And you can believe it by looking at the mainstream media, because that's all the news that you have. Until, like in my case, I arrived there and I discovered what was being told to me from conservative news outlets was completely the opposite from the beautiful people that I met that were actually in Ukraine. And I then discovered that it's an old playbook that happened in Vietnam. It happens even in America. They do the same thing to us as Americans. They say that we have no God. We're godless people, that that we just use people and abuse people, when there are a lot of beautiful Americans that love our country, but they also love people around the world. So you have to love first. And you got to be willing to not listen to the propaganda that's being pushed by all countries. Everybody does it against each other. Everybody does it, and move past the propaganda and see the heart and the soul of the individual. For me, as a spiritual diplomat, my goal is that all of us will not just know each other, but we start to learn our children's names. We're starting to learn their family members' names, their brothers and sisters, because it's hard to want to go to war with somebody when you know the names of their children.
That's true.
Them. So how do you become a spiritual diplomat? Well, first of all, have love. Secondly, you need to come to our event. You got to come October the 28th at the Washington, at the Capitol, on Capitol Hill. And you got to come, because we're going to have some more instructions. We want people to go and register. If they register, they get a beautiful lapel pin. I have to send you a beautiful picture of it. But for every person that's registering, they're going to get this. And they got to attend, register and attend. All right. So you can't just register and don't show up. But if you register and attend, you'll get a beautiful lapel pin that says Spiritual Diplomat with an eagle. And it's the official seal of our wonderful organization. And we've given it for free. And from there, people will discover, what can I do to operate as a spiritual diplomat? The number one thing you have to do is just have love. Ignore the propaganda and fight for people, even those that don't look like you, those that don't speak your language. Love is a universal language, and that's really all you need.
Thank you so much. And I think you already encourage everybody really to come to this conference, because I want this pin. I already want to sign up and I want to register.
Yes.
So thank you very much for everything. Thank you again for your open heart. Thank you so much for really willing to help people.
Amen.
And staying for the people.
Thank you.
So
And
much.
ALLATRA and all that you guys are doing and all those wonderful volunteers. I absolutely love the articles, and I'm just blessed that you have an army behind you, the ALLATRA army. But I think it's because you love people, and the multi-grain that video that I saw of all these people saying love, 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 love from almost 180 different countries, all saying the same thing, love. Jesus said it, love your God with all your heart and all your mind. And the second greatest commandment is to love your neighbor with all your heart and all your mind. And that's what ALLATRA is about. That's what I'm about. That's why we work so well together.
Thank you so much.
God bless you all.